What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I have to take a moment to laugh before I tell you today's news, and just address some of you people on YouTube, some of you comments, some of you fans, fight fans. Um, I'm getting tons of emails and comments regarding. It's like every time I do a video, all these are my opinions based on what I've seen. Every time I do a video about certain sacred fighters with a large fan base, I always get outlandish comments and stuff. And Canelo is one of the fighters. Amir Khan. If you say anything bad about Canelo, people act like it's not even bad. But if you say anything negative or that Canelo has a chance not to win, people act like you cuss their mama out. It's just hilarious to me. So, in today's news, it looks like Richard Schaefer, Golden Boy, Floyd Mayweather Promotions, they have decided to move Daniel Ponce de Leon and Abner Mars over to the undercard of Floyd Mayweather versus Guerrero. And if you watch my videos, you'll know that this is a fight that I said they should move over. I said this, and I said if the Mayweather-Guerrero undercard can get the De Leon-Abner Mars fight, which was announced last week. However, the date, they had a date for it even, but it still was possible to me to do it. So they did do it, and it looks like that's going to be an undercard. Now, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. I don't think you guys understand the business, some of you. Mayweather generates dollars. Golden Boy knows that. Golden Boy Promotions, that's a business. Mayweather, he runs a business. Boxing is a business. Everything is a business. So, obviously, people like Floyd Mayweather. Some people hate Floyd Mayweather. Some people like Canelo and Trout. And trust me, I don't take anything away from Canelo and Trout because that's one of the fights that I really, really want to see. It's probably in my top 3 fights that I want to see because I think it's a good test for both fighters. Um, and it's just, I'm getting outlandish comments like, oh, Canelo's going to prove you wrong. How is he going to prove me wrong? I didn't even say anything bad about the guy. I didn't say he will definitely lose. The only thing I've said is I haven't even done my prediction video yet. So I don't understand how Canelo's going to prove me wrong when I haven't even made a prediction. But aside from that, the only thing I have said is it's a lot closer of a fight than a lot of people give credit. Power, combination punching, that goes to Canelo. I think has the advantage in that category. But in terms of height, reach, and slickness, that goes to Trout. And this is, to me, Canelo's toughest test. And if you dispute it or you disagree with it, tell me who has Canelo faced that was a legit 154-pounder in the prime of their career or on a winning streak. They won their last 3 fights. Please let me know. I mean, he went up against a game Josecito Lopez, but 2 fights ago, Josecito was fighting at like 140. So he had never been in the waters of 154, and going up against a big 154-pounder with the combination punching and patience of a fighter like Canelo, I don't see that as being an even playing field. I mean, it's pretty much a mismatch. So that's the only thing I said is the Canelo and Trout. It's going to be an exciting fight. There's a lot of fights. Obviously, I have my opinion on who I think will win, and I definitely will do a prediction video. But right now, we got a lot of fights where willpower, heart, and style is going to really make it. I think Zab Judah versus Danny Garcia is going to be another fight like that, where Zab Judah definitely has the goods and the technical ability to beat a Danny Garcia. I think Danny Garcia beats him, but it's a 50-50 fight. This is just my opinion. You have other fights, Nonito Donaire versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. I really think Nonito will beat Rigondeaux, but it's a 50-50 fight, and Rigondeaux can definitely pull off a win and frustrate a person like Nonito. Canelo versus Trout, another 50-50 fight. Abner Mars versus Daniel Ponce de Leon, 50-50. I'm always going to have my opinion. You guys are going to have your opinion. But it's funny because a lot of you guys state your opinion and send me comments like, Canelo's going to prove you wrong and all kinds of... He can't prove anything wrong. It's just my opinion. And most of the stuff that I'm saying on the video is more based on fact and what I've seen and my opinion, as opposed to some of the comments that I'm reading. Like, some people are responding saying that Mayweather's ducking Canelo because he didn't sign up to fight him when they both have fights scheduled. Canelo, his test is Austin Trout. That's a tough test for both fighters. Mayweather has been inactive. He did his jail stint, and he hasn't fought. And by the time they fight, it'll be a year against a very game Robert Guerrero, who shows that he likes to pressure. He's going to Twitter saying that he's going to serve Mayweather's first defeat. I mean, he truly wants to win. He has heart. He showed that in the Berto fight. He showed that in the Idin fight. It's a very game opponent. So my previous video, the basic moral of the story is promoters, boxers, they need to look at the opponent ahead. Like Amir Khan's looking up, like talking, oh, I want to fight. I just want to fight Mayweather. And I just have all the motivation to knock out Danny Garcia because blah, 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 his dad. And he's talking about moving up to 147. And my point in that whole video is you can't look too far in the future because Amir Khan did that. He said, oh, I want to fight Mayweather in 147. Oh, 147, I just feel it'll be better. Blah, blah, blah. And he got knocked out. Now he's on the path where he's rebuilding his career. They're giving him some confidence builder fights. Fights like Carlos Molina, undersized 135-pounder with no punching power. And now he's fighting Julio Diaz, who has a shot, but he's also coming down to weight. You never know how that'll pan out. And in addition, Julio Diaz is coming off of a draw, which is half win, half loss. So it's not that exciting of a fight. I'll watch it, but it's not that exciting of a fight, especially when 140-pound division is the most stacked division in fucking boxing. So again, you guys, some of you guys are sending me all kinds of comments and stuff, and we all have opinions. That's cool. But a lot of the stuff you guys are saying is not based on anything fact. It's not based on anything out of Richard Schaefer's mouth, out of Oscar De La Hoya's mouth, out of Canelo's mouth, out of Team Canelo's mouth, out of Mayweather's mouth. This is your thoughts on what you think is happening. Whereas I'm giving you stuff and I can present articles to support most of the stuff that I'm saying in terms of like business deals. This is coming from Richard Schaefer. I'm hearing stuff like Canelo and Mayweather fight. There's a clause in the fight that stipulates if either fighter loses, then it terminates the transaction for September. So where do you read that? Where does it say that Canelo presented Mayweather with a contract saying, I want to fight in September, and if I lose to Trout, we don't have to fight? Where is the contract? Where did you, I mean, do you guys work for Golden Boy? Do you work for Canelo? Because you're leaving comments like you do. Are you his agent? Are you strength and conditioning coach? How do you know that the contract said, if I lose to Trout or if you lose to Guerrero, we don't have to fight in September? You don't. That's all speculation. That's what you feel the contract would contain. But realistically, I don't know. You don't know. And you're not a part of Golden Boy. You're not affiliated with Canelo. So where is this pride coming from? Again, not factual, based on what you want the contract to say. That's basically it. Then I'm also hearing that Mayweather messed up because he didn't agree to fight Canelo. I never took it away from Canelo. He has skills, but I would like to see those skills tested on someone who's ranked at 154. And again, you can't overlook a fighter like Austin Trout. They're both undefeated. There's a guy that makes 154 a lot better. And Austin Trout, people are like, oh, why are you saying that Canelo needs to step up his resume, but you're not saying that to Austin Trout? Well, there's a few reasons for that. One, Austin Trout is not being praised in the community of boxing as much as a fighter like Canelo. Canelo has a large fan base. I'm not hating. I'm not taking it away. And out of their two resumes, I think Austin Trout has a more substantial resume just based on the fact that he's fought guys that are naturally fighting at 154 before they even meet up in the ring. That's a huge thing. I mean, Austin Trout's beat Miguel Cotto, who's already fought at 154 pounds more than one time. His last fight against Mayweather was at 154, and he looked good in that fight. Austin Trout had his coming out party with him and convincingly beat him. Austin Trout's also beat not Miguel Cotto. He beat Canelo's brother, another 154-pound fighter. He's also beat Delvin Rodriguez, another ranked opponent, somebody whose name is buzzing in the 154-pound division. So when you say, why am I not giving Canelo props or whatever you think I'm not doing, it's because I'm not going to say Austin Trout needs to step it up because he's actually fought 154-pound fighters. Who has Canelo fought to this point, and he's looked splendid in a lot of fights. But again, I need to see him fight someone who, like, you ever heard the saying, pick on someone your own size? That's the basic gist of what I'm saying. I need to see Canelo fight 154-pound fighters that have A, fought at 154 pounds before, unlike Matthew Hatton, unlike Josecito Lopez. I think Rhodes didn't fight at 154. I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure where Carlos Baldomir fought, but Carlos Baldomir was a name in the sport way back when. And he didn't look good in his previous fights leading up to the Canelo fight. And I don't even know if he had even fought at 154 or where they had actually fought. That's my point. So again, Canelo shows potential. He looks like he has a skill set, but I just can't give him the full praise until I see him fight people who are ranked in his division. And 154 is probably the second most stacked division in boxing. 140 would be the most stacked in my opinion. But 154 has a lot of people to fight. You got Kirkland, wherever the hell he is, his crazy ass. You got Vanes, you got Edislandi Lara, you got Carlos Molina, you got Gabriel Rosado, who shows tremendous heart and chin, beating Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin, also a fighter, says he can come down to 154. Sergio Martinez said he can come down to 154. So there's a lot of fights that can be made. K9 just lost, Ishe Smith. There's tons of fights. So I would say that's probably the second most stacked division behind 140 pounds. Again, I'm not dissing Canelo. I never have. I enjoy his fights. He's an entertaining fighter. But I have to see him fight people that are a little bit more threatening. And it's funny because some people compare Mayweather's resume and say his resume sucks. And in the same breath, you're a huge Canelo fan. Like, that's cool to be a fan of. I like the way Canelo fights over Mayweather. But how can you even, like, have the audacity to talk about Mayweather's resume, who's been in there with Ricky Hatton's, Carlos Baldomir, Oscar De La Hoya, etc., and named opponents, Diego Corrales, Castillo twice, whether you think he lost the first fight or not. And he's been in there with these named ranked opponents, and then you're praising Canelo? It makes no sense to me. And again, I don't have anything against Canelo, but I definitely think the Austin Trout-Canelo fight is a lot more 50-50. And the last thing I want to talk about that I've heard when I did my Canelo video is that Mayweather's dumb for not agreeing to sign the Canelo fight and then Canelo eventually got his own date in April, so he's going to fight Trout on his own card. And I'm not sure what the undercard's looking like on that. Maybe they'll move over the Josecito Lopez and Marcos Maidana fight to that undercard because it was initially supposed to be an undercard for Abner Mars and Ponce de Leon. So I don't agree with that. I think if you look at historically Mayweather's numbers, he holds the record for the highest grossing pay-per-view in pay-per-view history. And that's not boxing history, that's pay-per-view history. So you have to include all special, like, Madonna concerts and Beyonce concerts, whatever the hell is on pay-per-view, WrestleManias and all kinds of shit from WWF, WWE, whatever it's called. And him and Oscar De La Hoya hold that record for 2.6 million buys. And this was before the internet was huge like it is now. This was before Instagram and Twitter. This was a while ago. So to be able to sell that with less promotional avenues, I guess you could say, is huge. And 2.6 was a Cinco de Mayo fight. De La Hoya and Mayweather, they hold the record for that. And then aside from that fight, if you look historically at Mayweather fights, they usually do in the area of 1.4 million. They usually do a million plus. So Canelo and Trout, that would have been a cool perk, and I definitely wanted to see it, and that would have been a great order for it. But even with the absence of Canelo, I guarantee you he does over a million buys, especially since they moved over Abner Mars and Ponce de Leon on Cinco de Mayo weekend. Two Mexican warriors, Abner Mars just coming up in weight. They both have tremendous heart, and it's on a Mexican holiday. And you have two Mexican warriors that I feel are going to go at it, another 50-50 fight. So really, I think it probably doesn't do anything to Mayweather. I think he's definitely going to do over a million buys, even in the absence of a Canelo-Trout fight. So that's my thoughts. Leave a comment, leave some hate. You know how to do it. I've spoke enough. Let me know what you think. Subscribe. Till next videos. Ego, signing off.